of dirt late model racing. Just let the man have a mic. Give him a stage. He could take over for 2 hours. He's going to be on the show final tonight.
Amazing lineup. There is not a show out there anywhere that has the heavy hitters that we have on tonight.
This is Red Clay Life. Again, thank you to our man running our boards back in Henderson, North Carolina, CRN Studios, Trace Knight. Thank you to all of our other crew, including Bruce Barrett, Brandon White. Speaking of Brandon White, tomorrow, right here on the CRN Sports Network, part of CRN Podcast, join us at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for Full Throttle. Full Throttle, another great episode. You do not want to miss it. And by the way, next week on Full Throttle, I'll go ahead and throw it out there right now, NASCAR Cup Series driver of Go Fast Racing will be Corey LaJoie on the show, and MAV TV personality Bob Dillner. And by the way, I've got people messaging me right now as we're doing a radio show, Mike, saying, oh my God, Wesley's on MAV TV. He's on MAV TV right now. So I get that a lot. So I'm back to doing my job. I'm not on television. I'm quarantined like everybody else around the world. And joining us is the driver of the number 14 entry out of Hawkinsville, Georgia. Used to call him Little Bloomer till he got himself a haircut. Will Herrington, welcome to Red Clay Live. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Man, it's so good to catch up with you. Have you spent that $11,000 yet?
Yeah, we got a little cut out of the street stock, and we end up got some news coming out probably tomorrow. I guess I can go ahead and release a little bit of it now.
Can you? Go ahead. Let's do it.
The David Poole owns the car.
Yeah.
We drove Sunday. He bought a super motor, so we're going super racing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You heard it right here on Red Clay Life. Tentatively, Will Herrington is going to be going super late model racing. Now, you've done good in crates. You've kicked ass in street stocks. How excited are you now to be able to run a 900 horsepower super late model?
More nervous than anything. It's going to be a new learning experience for everything, and just, I think I'm going to have to relearn how to drive a little bit. I've been talking to some of my buddies that come from the crate to the super stuff, so just trying to see what it's going to be like before I get in there.
Go ahead, Mike.
Will, it's so good to talk with you. I've not got to meet you. I've done some research on you today. Looking forward to meeting you one day. You are one of the guys who have the raw talent, and I don't think you're going to have a big problem transitioning into supers. You've been racing since, you were 11, is that correct?
12 years old, yes, sir.
12 years old, and you don't have to call me sir. That makes me feel older.
I'm sorry. It's a habit.
But I've looked up at some of your stuff today, and actually talked with Matt Henderson today, and we talked about you. You and your generation and the ones that's younger than you are our future. That you and your generation is what's going to keep this sport alive, and I'm so thankful to see the young folks like you. I call you young. You could be my son, but you're an adult. But people that start at such a young age, we had a 13 and a 17-year-old at the track Saturday. It's God-given talent, and I'm thankful for folks like you. You guys are my heroes, and I'm looking forward to see you in person and watch you wheel that car around the track sometime.
Yes, sir. It's been a blessing for sure just to have a awesome career like I have so far. I just hope we can keep going and just keep working hard, and maybe things will keep working out for us.
Will Herrington again joining us on the program. And by the way, so many accolades besides what you did at the Cochran Clash in the Crate Racing USA Street Stock World Championship. But what was the mindset of having to wait almost, because let's flash back to December 28th. I was the announcer of that event for the big Pro Late Model event and the Street Stocks when Eshelman was there before the weather pro-legged us and postponed things to March in December at Cochran. Your car was strong. Did you do anything different to the car from December to the race at March a couple of weeks ago to win that street stock race? Because and the pro late model also.
Well, the street stock, I don't see any until it gets to the racetrack, and I just he's letting a couple of people drive it.
Right.
I told him, I said, "Don't tear my car up." So it's just, that thing is just, it's been on train tracks everywhere we've been, or we've run Cochran with it. But it's just been good. And that last time they brought it, we practiced that Friday night. We wasn't that good, and they told me they tried a couple of things. And I said, "Well, y'all put it back." So that Saturday night, it was definitely on kill. And I run my crate car Saturday night, and it's pretty much the same way that we was at Cochran last time or anywhere really. So didn't really change anything. It was just kind of a waiting game to see what the racetrack was going to be like.
So when you have this opportunity of all of these different people driving your race cars, what are some of the things that you have to do to get the car back to your liking?
Well, the 7 car is just, like I said, is really good. So we just done small adjustments just to try to get it a little more to my feel, but that thing's usually just pretty much perfect by every time I get in it, so I don't have to do much at all.
We are talking with Will Herrington and Mike. Will Herrington, as you said, he's the future. He's going to be one of these drivers that we're going to be watching for years to come, and he's truly talented already. He can wheel the hell out of a race car.
And what I love is his attitude. Sadly, in our sport, we've got 2 factions of drivers. We've got the guys who have started out young and worked their way up to where they're at, and they're humble and they're thankful for their opportunity. And you got others who've had everything handed to them on a silver platter, and they could care less about the fans or, I just like his attitude. I've liked what I've heard about him, and I'm looking forward to meeting this young man, and probably going to see him racing on Sundays one day.
Will, my question continued on with that follow-up is, what do you do during this off time? I mean, since I last saw you, that was the last race I broadcasted. The last race you raced was at Cochran. For that matter, I know, some people condemn us for doing it. Some people say we shouldn't have. Some people say, 2 weeks ago you were praising about being in a race, and now you're saying we all need to be quarantined. Obviously, a lot of things have changed in 2 weeks, in my opinion, in North Carolina. How has things been in your personal life in Hawkinsville, Georgia, with all this pandemic going on? Can you hear me, Will? Will Herrington, are you there? I think we just lost Will. We're going to try to reconnect back with him here in just a few moments. We'll let him get back here. He could have lost signal. There you go. I think we just got him back reconnected now. And, Will, are you back with us, buddy?
Yes, sir, I am.
Did you hear any of the question I asked? Can you answer it?
No, sir, I didn't hear you.
Okay, so what I was saying was that the last race you won, the last race I saw you was at Cochran, and some people condemn us in the motorsports community for running that race. We shouldn't have ran the race. We did run the race. I said that, we should have, we got away with running that weekend, but things got bad, at least where I live in North Carolina, where I've been quarantined since May 16th, or March 16th. How's things been in Georgia, and do you feel like we need to take this downtime before we get back to the racetrack?
It's not been that bad here. I mean, yes, we have some cases, but it's not really been that bad. They got my little town on a curfew, but it's not been that bad. I work for the government at the Air Force Base in Warner Robins, and we're still going to work. So it's not been, the bigger towns around here have been kind of bad, but it's not been really that bad, you know what I mean? And I wish we were racing this weekend, but I understand, everything going on, so maybe we'll get back to it in a few weeks.
So what do you do, Will, during your downtime whenever there's no racing going on? What does Will Herrington do? And by the way, don't call her girlfriend. She's fiance. How's she doing?
Well, I normally try to, lately, I'm trying to get back into iRacing a little bit. Seems like it's done blow back up. So I got me a new computer and doing that, and just the weather's been beautiful down here. So I've been spending a little time outside on my porch, just hanging out, listening to music. Not a whole lot, really.
And by the way, who I was referring to is your beautiful, very beautiful car chief, crew chief, whatever you want to call her. Besides Brian Green, oh my goodness, I got to ask you that question: how in the world did you get hooked up with the nut that is Brian Green in motorsports?
I'm trying to really think about it. We actually raced Cochran one weekend. He was with Chad Tootin or somebody, I think, and
right.
He come over and started talking to me, and we just hanging out. And then we went to the state race in Phoenix City, and he didn't have anything to do. And he's like, "I'm coming with you." I was like, "All right, well, come on." I've never really been around him that much. And
right.
Me and we talk every day. As soon as I get off work, he's the first person I call.
I don't know if people remember this or not, but I point. And by the way, your fiance I was referring to as Brittany Smith, and I hope Brittany's tuning in and she's sharing and watching or listening. By the way, coming up, Matt Henderson will be joining us on the program. Bottom of the hour, 7:45 will be also coming up with Ronnie Johnson. We are talking with Will Herrington right now. A couple of more minutes with the driver, the number 14 out of Hawkinsville, Georgia. But you created the helmet slap around the world. How did you do that? I think that's what I quoted it whenever I got to talk to you down at Victory Lane. What was the mindset of climbing out of the car and slamming the helmet down?
I wanted to do something different, and Winger done the steering wheel drop last year.
Right.
And I couldn't think of anything in the moment to do, and I was like, I got my helmet in my hand. I'm just dropping it.
Helmet.
My dad hadn't let me live that down yet. So
Hey, Mike. We have the mic drop for Mike Garrett, and we have the helmet drop for Will Harrington.
I love it. I saw those pictures today, and I love the creativity. That I love drivers showing their personalities and showing the excitement. That's what keeps everybody engaged. And it reminds me of poor old DW's sad Daytona 500 victory dance when he spiked his helmet in Victory Lane.
And he did the hickey shuffle? Come on, we can all do the hickey shuffle. Hey, Will, next race you win, slam your helmet down and do the hickey shuffle dirt track style here on Dirt Track on Red Clay Life.
I have to learn that one. I think that's a little before my time.
For sure. Hey, what is your plans? What series are you going to run? Are you going to run racetracks? What is the opportunity that Harrington's going to do driving the 00 car in super late model racing?
We haven't really put anything together yet as far as the super thing. As far as like what we're going to do. The motor's supposed to be here this week. So we got to just sit down and figure out what we're going to do, really. I'm sure we'll kind of stay close around here for right now. Maybe I know Ray Cook's got some races pretty close and Southern All-Stars. So we'll probably hit some of that stuff, and I think World Outlaws come to Cochran and probably try that. That'd be kind of out of our league, but I got some laps there, so I might be decent. So, and then as far as probably the crate stuff, I think I'm going to go to Greenville, Mississippi for the Crate Racing USA's first points race of the year. Not sure if I'll do the whole thing again, but
right.
Maybe. It's according how we get out there. If we get out there good, I might try to do the whole thing again. It's just according. It's kind of up in the air, hit or miss, whatever right now.
So when you're traveling, per se, it's obviously a different life than doing the regular weekly track stuff like you've done at Sonoy or Cochran, correct? I mean, how do you adapt to the traveling life at such a young age you are, Will?
It's tough. I can't imagine what it's like doing it Lucas style and World Outlaws, because what we did last year was 20. I'm going to just say 25. I really don't know how many it was, but during the week, it's just me and my dad at the shop for the most part. So we get off at 3. We're home by 3:30, 4 o'clock. We're at the shop. Me and him's doing what we can till 6:30 or 7 at the latest. And we got to be up in the morning, so we're back home and then trying to get some sleep and get up and go to work the next day. So it was tough. That's kind of what we